Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston, and it's Sunday, so we must be talking about the news today. We got quite a few things to talk about this week, although there's nothing really coming as of reveals for the next set or starter decks or anything really. They're still putting out a ton of things to show. The first thing I want to jump into, the English Twitter showed that we are getting the multicolored Luffy, which they're only usable in select events, usually a draft event where you get to use this Luffy that is all things and play all colors with whatever you get out of the draft. So you get a certain amount of packs of certain sets and then you get to play it. But something that we're getting that I don't think I saw Japan get is the live action version, which is super cool. It's really cool to see Ainki get another card. This is the second one, but also this card. It's coming in a 2-pack of these two leaders, so you get to get it just for participating. I think that's super interesting and super excited to see them leaning fully into the live action. Super cool. That's not much to say other than it's happening, and I believe it's happening in November, so check in with your local game stores to make sure that they are getting these in and sign up for the event so that you get them. The next thing up is there were 2 cards leaked from the starter deck 12. The first one is Sanji, blue character, 2 cost, 3k power, Straw Hat Crew. Dawn ×1, when attacking, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, this character gains plus 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. That's super cool. I'm going to keep my thoughts to a minimum here. Plus 2k till the start of your next turn makes him 5k. Defending, I believe the leader can restand cards, so it doesn't say once per turn, so he could attack twice at up to 7 and staying 7 until as a defending character. I think that's a pretty good 2-drop. The other card is this Zoro, Roronoa Zoro, green character, 4 cost, 6k power, Straw Hat Crew. Dawn ×1, when attacking, rest up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters. For a 4-drop, swinging as high as a 6-drop, it's pretty good in my opinion. I think that this is playing into what that leader does that we saw last week. I'll link it up here somewhere so that you can check out what that leader effect does. This is really interesting. I'm happy to see that these cards are good. I'm worried that now that the starter decks are getting this good that we're going to get some major creep in power from the rest of the game. Moving on to some products, we got in Japan announced some Uta themed deck boxes and sleeves that are coming out early October. We'll have to see when they get put in like the premium Bandai store or sent over here. But if you like Uta, that's coming to you soon. And speaking of Uta, we had talked about this a few weeks ago. Uta is getting a premium card collection. We didn't know what the cards were or what they would look like until just this week. And from what I can tell, I have a close-up from Twitter that it's all of her current cards that I can tell. So the film red promo leader, the super rare from the Luffy Black theme deck, set 1, the blocker that's really good, or no, that's not set 1, I think that's starter deck like 6, that's really good. This is the set 1 red Uta, this is the secret rare Uta, and this is the promo Uta. And I didn't know what they were until I checked Card Dev, so Card Dev coming in clutch again to help clarify what's actually happening in that image. But moving on to more Uta, they're really pushing film red stuff right now. I'm assuming it's because it was coming back to theaters again in Japan. But we got official looks at the cards that we talked about last week that were leaked, but we also got official looks at 3 event cards that I don't think I had seen yet. Let's see. This first one on the far right, can't click on them as close as we get to it. The one on the far right is I'm Invincible, green event, 3 cost, Uta film, activate main, set up to one of your leaders, Uta, active. So it's a very specifically Uta leader. Trigger, give up to one of your leaders or characters plus 1000 power for this turn. Little interesting that it specifies that it has to be the Uta leader, so you can't play this in anything else, which is kind of a bummer. I like cards that are splashable in other decks. The next one here in the middle is New Genesis, green event, 1 cost, Uta/film, or it says song/film. Activate main. If your leader is Uta, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 film type card other than this card, New Genesis, and add it to your hand. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. Then set up to 1 Rested Dawn as active. That's technically free. Pretty cool. Again, limited to the Uta leader, but searches all films, so you can throw in your set 2 film stuff into this deck and get a little bit of more play with those cards. The last one here on the left is Blacklight, green event, 2 cost, song and film. Activate main. If your leader is Uta, choose one of the below. Rest up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or lower characters, or KO up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or lower rested characters. Pretty good for a 2 cost hitting 5. Just like I was saying with the Zoro just a few minutes ago, being able to have a large jump in cost 2 benefit is great. They're very restrictive to this deck, so I don't know how much play they'll get unless someone finds a really good build for this Uta leader. We'll see how it goes. But moving on, we got some announcements on Twitter. The tweets aren't very informative, so I'm just jumping straight to the Bandai Premium website. For $42, you can get a 4 Emperors deck box. It's probably cardboard, like they always are. A mat with the 4 Emperors art, which looks probably better than the regionals or treasure cup map that we saw prior with 4 Emperors on it that was just like pulling their art from their cards. The Kaido is incredible. And you also get a alt art Edward Newgate leader. And since this leader is still good, even with its card, half of its cards being restricted, half is an overstatement, with a lot of its key cards limited, it's still doing well. So maybe this is an alt art that you want. You don't want to pay the premium for the set one, but you still want to rock a cool Newgate. And for $42, that's not too bad. They generally price mats and deck boxes at $40 from what I've seen. So getting an Edward Newgate for $2, if it's your guy, might as well. Moving on to this, they've done this before. This is a box of Pillars of Strength with a mat of your choice. And we've seen these mats before. And a deck box that matches for $140, like I said. Mats and deck boxes are priced around $40, putting this box at $100, which may or may not be a good deal depending on where the market's placing those. But you get to open a box and have a nice mat. Not a bad deal. You might be able to find these for cheaper now that they've been out for a while, or maybe secondhand from someone that doesn't quite like it as much as they thought. Moving on to another premium card collection. They're calling this the best selection, and this is an assortment of way more cards than I expected for $30, and they are good cards. Now this is just the front of the cover booklet like we saw with the other premium collections. The 25th anniversary has that booklet that all the cards are glued to. But these are the cards, and what I'll do is I have I believe, a better image of them, but it's Curly Dadan from the set Curly, Film Nami, I believe that's Starter Deck Kuma, Starter Deck Buena Vista, Suru, Almond, Radical Beam, Paradise Waterfall, Love Love Mellow, Blast Breath Altart, Ice Age, and Thunderbolt. And to get a little bit closer of a look, ironically, is on the Japanese website for one of the championship tournaments all the way at the bottom, as well as linked in the description down below, is actual close-ups we can look at. Radical Beam, absolutely gorgeous, probably worth the $30 alone, and you only need one of them, so might as well pick one up. And gorgeous Paradise Waterfall, Curly Dadan featuring the youngins over here in the upright corner. Absolutely gorgeous art for Curly. If you're playing red, you're going to want some of these. And then a Film Nami. This card has been going up in price with the popularity of Kid Film and now Dofi Film. So getting this in a collection is not a bad deal. And it's a pretty darn good alt art for Nami. Suru from set 2, looking absolutely amazing. Ice Age, just clicking through them real quick so you guys get a blast breath, just incredible, mountains melting away. Buena Vista, getting a good look at Buena Vista, his art is very lame in the first place, so this is quite an incredible Buena Vista art. And then this is just moving through to the other products. Sleeves that feature the art from the 4 Emperors, a Shanks alt art, an Uta, looks like a spooky Uta sleeve coming as well, and a close-up on that Edward Newgate leader from just a few minutes ago. I'm really excited about these products. The premium cards are really nice, and there's quite a few of them here. So for $30, you're getting a decent value. If you're wondering about the value of each of these cards individually, you could go to like a TCG player or ask your locals what they're pricing these cards at, and then consider what alt arts for most of these cards would cost. And I think it's a good value. I think there's a couple really good cards here. It is considered the best card, so you're most likely playing some of these anyways. If you're playing red, you're definitely playing the Dadans. So I think it's a good value. I'm probably going to pick up at least one just so that I can get that Radical Beam. But moving on, let's see here. Scrolling down, another hidden pack that I want to talk about for the standard battle is the Treasure Cruise participation prizes. We got some new arts for the starter deck, like the first chunk of starter decks. We got the Rush Luffy with a Treasure Cruise stamp. I'm hoping that these cards come to the US as well at some point so that we can get these nice alt arts. We got the Kid starter deck SR. We got Crocodile starter deck SR, which is a really good art for Crocodile. And we got the Kaido Treasure Cruise alt art. I believe these are all good alts. I hope they come so that we can collect them here. Let's see what we got here. Dash passes. This is something that I didn't see coming because they haven't been really doing these types of things in the recent sets. But dash passes, packs are kind of like a box topper that you get from getting boxes, and they're only going to hobby stores. So check in with your local game stores. Like it says, this is only brick and mortar campaign. So if you have a local game store, check in with them. If you ordered boxes, you probably got these. And this is alt art of previous sets. Speed Jill, Buggy, great alt art from Buggy, Boodle, Monkey D. Luffy. I think his original art is so good, and this is just a nice addition to that. And Khalifa, always gonna be throwing the Khalifas and Shirahoshi. Yeah, so check in. These are just alt arts of previous cards. You probably got them if you ordered your boxes with a brick and mortar. And the last bit of news, I'm trying to finish this quickly, is saying either fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you see it, they did not lift the restriction on the red cards that were banned last set. So Radical Beam, Marco, and the 9-drop Edward Newgate are still limited to 1 in set 4. Leaving the best for last, really. I'm kind of happy. It gives us a format to cover and play in that is not red-centric. Gives our new leaders a chance to shine and not live underneath the oppression of a older leader that's just a bit overpowered in a color that everyone knows is just playing at the top of its game even without these cards at 4. So, like it or not, it's still here. All the stuff hasn't changed. We may see an adjustment. I believe they have stated that they will reconsider these things as it goes. I would be surprised if Radical Beam stayed limited with set 5 coming that has a similar card for yellow, or they may just throw that card straight onto the restriction so that it stays fair until all the colors get one. You don't know what I'm talking about, I'll probably link it somewhere in our yellow color review that we talk about it. But this is getting a bit lengthy, and I know you guys have other things to do on your Sunday morning. So please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what you're looking forward to most. Are you looking forward to those premium Bandai offers? I know I am. So let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, we'll see you around, and peace.